Welcome back, everybody, to another Khan Academy tutorial. Today we're doing percent problems. These are kind of word problems. This is an extension from percent change problems that we had in the other Khan Academy. That's also a video that I made recently. And then also probably the best video is the CUDA worksheet tutorial on percent change problems. I'd recommend watching those ones first. This one will be built off of those previous understandings, and this one's going to kind of get right to the chase and be as direct as possible with how to solve these. So hopefully you find this helpful. Let's get to it. Savannah had 40 iris blooms last year. This year she had 15% more iris blooms. How many more iris blooms did Savannah have this year? I like to think these problems as the original, and then, original and then the new. Okay, sorry, the original doesn't look very good. Original and then the new. Okay, so the original amount that we have here, that was supposed to be my finger. Okay, let's see if we can move this down. There we go. The original amount that we had was 40 iris blooms. Okay, and then we have 15% more. Now, what do? We don't multiply by 15%. Okay, if we multiply by 15%, we're going to get a much smaller number, and it's supposed to be an increase. More means an increase in iris blooms. So what does that mean? Well, what do we add 15% to? Well, the original amount is 100% of itself. If we start with the base amount, that's 100%, and we either go up or down from 100%. So if we add 15% more, that means we're adding 15% to 100%. So we're going to say 100 plus 15, that's going to be 115% that we're increasing. Well, not that we're increasing, but the new amount is going to be 115% of the original amount. Okay, that's an increase of 15%. The reason why I wrote it like this is because if we write this as a decimal, this becomes 1.15. And now it becomes a very simple problem where we do 40 times 1.15. Why do we multiply it? Well, 115% of means multiply. 115% of 40 means we multiply the two. If it's 115% of the original, that's also known as 1.15 times the original. It's 1.15 times bigger than the original. So that's why we multiply. Times means multiplication. So what do we get if we multiply 40 by 1.15? We get 46. So this year, how many more iris blooms did Savannah have this year? Well, what do you know? I thought they were looking for the total number. I had to reread the problem. I almost typed in the wrong one. So there's 46 new, so technically there's only 6 more. Looking back, I could have just done 40 times our increase, which is, our increase is 0.15, and this will tell us that we increased by 6. So that would have been the easier way to do it. I originally thought that was not what it was looking for, but it really is looking for that. How many more iris blooms do they have this year? So it's 46. Or excuse me, 6 more, leaving us a new 46. How many more iris blooms? Just to making sure. The more here is the key word that I should look for and just looked for the increase. So let's write 6, and let's hope this works. Okay. Sorry about that. I gave you kind of a preview of what you're going to do with some of these other problems. Finley's pumpkin had a mass of 6.5 kilograms before he carved it. So that's the original amount. After carving it, the pumpkin had a mass of 3.9. What was the percent decrease in the mass of the pumpkin? Okay, let's get our original. So we have our original, aka the OG original, and then we have the new. Okay, we know the new is 3.9. We know the original is 6.5. We want to know the percent decrease. Okay. My opinion, the easiest way to find the percent decrease is we find first the new divided by the original. I meant to change colors here. Divided by the original. what will this tell us? This will tell us the percent of the original. Okay, so what is the news percent of the original? Percent of the original. So this is the news percent of the original. So we're going to take 3.9. Okay, that's the part we're looking for. This is the end part. We divide it by 6.5. Okay, if this will let me draw it, 6.5. And this will tell us what percent the new amount of the pumpkin is of the original amount. So we do 3.9 divided by 6.5, and we get 0.6. Okay, that's the new amount of the original. Okay, so that's the new of the original. Now, don't say, oh, I know how to convert this. This is 60% and put 60% as your answer. Okay, this is just telling you the new is 60% the size of the old, which started at 100%, right? So this is 60% of this guy. Now, what's the decrease? Well, if we started at 100% and we decreased by 60%, actually I like to do it the other way. Okay, so we have, I like to, as soon as you get this answer, 60%, I like to subtract 100 from this, and then we get negative 40%. So if you do 100 minus 60, you get 40%. If you do 60 minus 40, or 60 minus 100, you get negative 40%. Why do I like negative 40%? Because this shows me that it's a decrease. Okay, so anytime you have a negative percent, that means it decreased. So here we have a 40% decrease. So again, the process is, first you find the percent of the original. In this case, we found it was 0.6, which is 60%. We take this 60% and you subtract what the original percent is. The original is always 100% of itself. And we get negative. Because it's negative, it's a decrease. So we have a 40% decrease. All right, next question. Oops, screwed up. Oliver read for 450 minutes this month. His goal is to read 10% more minutes next month. If Oliver meets his goal, how many minutes will he read in all during the 2 months? Okay, so original and new. Always start with this. This is always a good place to start. Original, I can't remember what my new color was. Forget it. Let's just make it this color. New. We don't know our new, but we know that because this month is, that's what I'm referring to as original, okay? Because next month is a new amount. So the original is 450. He wants to read 10% more. So I'm going to put this 10% down here. Okay, 10% down here. And then we want to have the new. Okay, so the new we don't know. Now we want to add, we want in total, this is particular to this problem, we want the new plus the original. And that will give us our total for the 2 months. Okay, so our original plus our new is going to be the total. Now, if you just do 450 times 0.1, that's the decimal form of this, 0.1. If you do 450 times 0.1, you're just going to get 45. Okay, the new amount isn't 45. That'd be a huge decrease. We want to increase it by 10%. So what you do is, another way to think of it is, we started at 100%. We want to add 10%, so that's going to take us to 110%. So if we want to convert this to a decimal, this is 1.1. We want the new to be 1.1 times this guy. So we're going to multiply 450 times 1.1. And so essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding 45 to get our new amount, which is 495. So now we have 495 plus 450. So let me write this out. 495 plus 450. And that's going to be equal to our total, which is 945 minutes. Nice job. Good job reading. Reading is very important. So good job for this person, Oliver. Great job, Oliver. There are 20% more goblins than wizards in Magic Club. There are 120 goblins in Magic Club. How many wizards are there in Magic Club? Okay, so let's see here. 20% more goblins than wizards in Magic Club. There are 120 goblins in Magic Club. Okay, so anytime you say 20% more goblins, okay, that means we're going to say the original amount. So again, we're going to have the original. Okay, the original, and then the new. Okay, we already applied this 20% increase to get 120. So we're going to say the 120 is the new because we already applied this 20% increase. Okay, so we increase this by 20% to get our new, and we want to find the original. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, before we would say, okay, we'd take 100%, and the original is still 100%, and then we added the increase to get our new. Okay, so we said that was 120% times the original. We don't know the original, x, and that's going to be equal to our new, 120. So the original times the increase, 120%, equals 120. Well, let's convert it to decimal. You never work with just a percentage. You always convert to decimal first. So 1.2 is the decimal form of this guy. We're going to multiply 1.2 times x, and that is equal to 120. The 120 is the goblins after we increase it by 20%. So we're trying to find the wizards right now. We're calling the original the wizards. So we're going to divide by 1.2. Divide by 1.2. 120 divided by 1.2. And we get 100. So there are 100, x equals 100, wizards. So 20% after that, if we apply that 20%, we get 120 goblins. So x equals 100 wizards. Check. Oh, I typed in 1,000. I cannot believe I did that. There we go. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to scare you. All right, so that was I hate getting one wrong, but it was just an accidental typo. I know you guys probably get frustrated by the same thing. Hope you found this helpful. I know I kind of mixed up the first one just a little bit with understanding the problem. That's why it's very important to reread the problem and understand what it's asking for. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.